What's happening, everybody? Who had a special video for y'all today? But really, aren't they all special in their own unique ways? Maybe so. But this one's extra special because I have this package in which features some mini prints of my favorite and the best superhero team of all time, the X-Men, from an artist named Peter Nguyen, whose art I discovered on Twitter or Instagram. I think it was Twitter first, and then I eventually found his Instagram as well as his website. But he's done, it caught my eye because it was just this art. So I figured, well, it's just cool art. So I retweeted it, and I eventually found out he does these sets of, or he's done these sets of mini prints, which you can see here, 6x9. And we're gonna start doing this, and I'll just kind of go into some of the story here. So he did sets of, these two sets that I ordered were sets based on the X-Men animated series characters. So he has the main cast of the X-Men, as well as a lot of the special guests, the characters that appeared on the X-Men side throughout the series. And yeah, so here it is. So this is just a package because I had already done this recording, but then I was like, yeah, I didn't really care for it. So I wanted to redo it again and kind of talk about the series as well. So here we are, Professor X right there in the front. So it came in this little protective kind of cover here. And then start off with these little, I'm not even sure what these are, but we have Magneto there. The Master of Magnetism, check that out. And Dr. Doom. Look at that, gorgeous. So as I said, he just has some cool art and was kind of going through, and some of the other sets he's done, which some of these featured in there, where there's an X-Villain set, and then there's another set of Marvel villains, just wider Marvel Universe villains. There was an Avengers set, and I think he had a set of Marvel women. So I missed out on the X-Villain set, was sold out, and I was just looking, I was like, oh man, those two X-Men sets look so cool. I grew up on X-Men animated series, still my favorite cartoon. And it just looked like these sets, I knew just he had the measurements listed on the site. They're 6x9, and I just had a rough idea what 6x9 looked like, and I actually envisioned them being smaller. So when I actually pulled them out, I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, I should have took out a ruler beforehand just to get a legit idea of how big they were going to be. So this was just a pleasant surprise. So we're going to start off with Professor X here, and when I've seen all of these online, but I didn't realize how it had like holograms of the original team back there. So yeah, Beast, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Archangel, and Iceman there, and you can see a little tag there, Peter, and then signature up there. I think so. This is what that is. I don't know, but here it is, Professor X, Charles Xavier, and next up got Peter Rasputin, aka Colossus, with the bird there. X-Men, the Heart of Steel. Look at this guy. Looks so cool. Also, who's conveniently placed right up there. My pop that I got at a convention last year. So that's cool. Colossus, he popped up in, what was it? I forgot. It was right after Slave Island because the X-Men were just coming back to the mansion and Juggernaut popped up. So we had Colossus and Juggernaut in the same episode, and Juggernaut was coming to the mansion, and Colossus was in the country looking for the X-Men, I believe. And wait, I got them all mixed up now. I don't know. No, he was just working. I think he was just working, and he was working at a construction site, and then he eventually came back because Omega Red was revived as all the stuff, Cold War stuff, USSR, and Russia trying to gather up all the Soviet countries and all that good stuff. So yeah, Colossus here. Look at that. Looks so cool. And so what it was, so I'll show Beast here, and you can look at Beast because it's blue. But as I said, I think I retweeted his post, his tweet that featured some of the art there, and I just kept going back to it every so often. I would go check out his website. I was thinking, oh man, you know what? At some point I got to order some of these sets, but I wasn't sure if I was going to order all of them. I definitely wanted the two X-Men sets, which I got. And I wish I would have ordered the X-Villain set because I really did want that one. I should have just ordered them sooner, but I didn't. So here we are. Hopefully, I'm going to tweet out or post a picture of all of these and just kind of give them a shout out on Twitter, and hopefully like just kind of add in there any chance of make another run of X-Villain set, hint, hint, hashtag, hint, hint, wink, wink, and kind of see what happens. So I was thinking, let me just go ahead and order these. So I did, and yeah, just had to because they just look so cool. And I'm actually deciding how I want to display them. I was kind of debating either putting them in a binder, like plastic sleeves in a binder, or framing them, which I probably will end up doing because I have some frames, and otherwise I could just get some. But I have a stack of frames that I want to use for comic books. So I just haven't used them yet, and I'm still going to work on how to do that as I redecorate. So I would love to get these framed and put up. So we just kind of have to see how they look in the frame and how they looks all together. So here's Beast, Henry Hank McCoy. Got his big backpack on. Who knows? We got tons of gadgets in there, and I like the background of this one because of how his lines look there with the X there, and just the blue looks cool. And then I don't know what the hell's in his hand. Looks like it could be a test tube or something. You never know with Beast. He's always cooking up something in his lab, making explosions and creating gadgets and chemicals of some kind there. Beast is obviously one of the main casts, and he went through a lot. He had a little romance briefly when he was working at the hospital where there was a lady who couldn't see, and him and some of the other staff were working on getting her sight back, or getting her vision for the first time, I guess. But her dad did not care for mutants, so he was all up against that. And then eventually she got kidnapped, and Beast went to rescue her. And her dad, was all angry at Beast, thinking it was him, but it was really just the humans doing that stuff. So typical human stuff, causing all kind of havoc, and then blaming other people. But Beast, and he was also pivotal in Night of the Sentinels. I'll touch on that when I get to Cyclops some more. But they were overwhelmed by the Sentinels in the beginning of the series, and he was left behind, and he got arrested, and he wanted to take his day in court to kind of make his fight for mutant rights on that front. So yeah, Beast. Then we got Rogue. Oh my gosh, I spent way too much time on those, so we're gonna get through this. But here's Rogue, just Southern Belle. Look at her, like the green and the yellow, the color in the background there. Just looks so cool. Dude is so talented, Peter Nguyen. So definitely go check him out. I will link his Twitter, probably his Instagram, and his website in the description, so you can go check out his social media and check out his website and his work. And yeah, so here is Rogue. As I said, she had plenty as well, and she got a decent amount of backstory as well, because they went to some Miss Marvel and Mystique stuff, and then Nightcrawler who I'll touch on as well, and then just kind of their whole family stuff. And then later in the series, in what was it, the last season or so, kind of went to more of her backstory with Cody and this alien race that I forgot. I don't know who they were. They weren't the Brood, but I don't know who they were. So they were like living in this gigantic fish kind of creature. That was their ship. It was weird. I don't know. But there's Rogue. And Jean Grey, another of the main cast. Look at this. Kind of like the background, because it's kind of reminiscent of the Phoenix. And yeah, she was, I don't know. Let me think. Jean Grey, she did play a pivotal role, especially when you got to the Phoenix stuff. Obviously, front and center there, Phoenix and the Dark Phoenix saga. So that was all fun. The Hellfire Club. Oh man, I love those fight scenes between the X-Men and the Hellfire Club, or the Inner Circle. And so yeah, trying to think what else Jean Grey. The first time I did this video, I was just talking, I was all over the place. I was talking about comic stuff and animated series, and when I decided I was going to redo it, I was like, all right, just stick to the animated series stuff. So there's Jean Grey and the Raging Cajun, Remy LeBeau, aka Gambits. Got the cards lit up, flying around everywhere. Look at this guy. Only thing he's missing is the staff, but here he is, and just look at that scowl there. Look at that. Oh, Gambit was so fun. Gambit had a lot of stuff too. Into his backstory with the thieves and the Assassin's Guilds and Belladonna, all that stuff. His brother, and when Bishop came back for what was that? I forgot the name of the art. It wasn't Days of Future. It was Days of Future Past, wasn't it? Yeah, and. Oh, was that? Yeah, I think so. And Bishop was back, and just because Mystique was shapeshifting to try to kill the Senator, and Bishop thought it was Gambit, so there was that whole thing, Gambit trying to redeem himself, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. He had a lot of quotes too when they were doing the Christmas one, and him and Jean Grey were in the kitchen, and Gambit was like, she said something about heat up what he cooked, and he said, Gambit does not make TV dinners. And then in the beginning with Night of the Sentinels, and he was buying cards, and the clerk had asked, what'd she say? You must like playing cards. You must love playing cards, something like that. And he said, I like solitaire, all right, unless I got someone to play with. And then there was the disruption with the Sentinel and Jubilee. And when he ran down there to help Jubilee, did this little card trick, throwing cards up at the Sentinel. And she asked how he did that, and he said, it was one of my favorites ones too, with style, petite, with style. So there's Remy and Banshee, this guy, John Cassidy. I remember when he died going to a comic tangent, in X-Men Daily Genesis, which had Vulcan and the kind of hidden X-Men team, whatever, and that died. But in the comic series, he popped up during the Phoenix Saga with Myra McTaggart on, what the hell was the name of? I forgot. But he played a part in that, and then Black Tom there with Cassidy Keep. So him, Juggernaut, Black Tom had a lot going on. So he was part of the Phoenix Saga. So that was cool. And it got a little Sonic screen there, like the coloring. Again, it's kind of similar to Rogue with the green and yellow. Then got the castle back there. Probably Cassidy Keep. Could be. I don't know. So here you go, our entry point to the anime series, Jubilee, starting Night of the Sentinels. Got her fireworks powers there, got her goggles, and a yellow jacket, obviously, iconic yellow jacket, and just her old design. And Jubilation Lee, she was adopted and eventually taken, so she was just cool throughout the series. It was just fun, kind of that young, kind of replaced a kitty, I guess you could say, and with often being kind of paired up with Wolverine, which she loved. She talked about a lot. Me and Wolverine can take on anything. So there's Jubilee. Oh my gosh. And then Kurt Wagner, Bamf, Nightcrawler, Captain Bluetail. Look at him. Look at him. Oh man, those are so cool. Nightcrawler, as I said, kind of a rogue. He popped up there he popped up with when Rogue, Gambit, and Wolverine were on vacation. They were skiing out somewhere on the wilderness, whatever. And I think it was, they ended up going to a monastery. So they were around a bunch of monks or whatever. And it was, as I said, Wolverine, they knew they had a mutant up there, and then all the people were kind of terrified of him, but really and then they were the one causing all the trouble. And Nightcrawler was being absolute stud that he is. So yeah, Nightcrawler, Kurt Wagner. Also, I remember from Pride of the X-Men, one of my favorite Nightcrawler lines was when they were all kind of paired up with Brotherhood members, and he ended up facing, who was it? Blob. Blob said, no one can move the Blob. And Nightcrawler said, and I wouldn't dream of trying. Avita, and then he bowed and teleported away. So classic. Nightcrawler. And then my girl Psylocke and all her complicated history. But just looks so cool. Got the butterflies there. Perfect touch. And her psychic knife out right there. Only thing missing is the sword, but that's okay. And then you kind of see like her hovers on her head there, kind of showing that off with the butterflies and the pink. Great touch there. Psylocke popped up during Beyond Good and Evil, which was a fantastic 4-episode arc she was robbing Archangel's mansion for her brother, who is Captain Britain, Brian Braddock. I think it's Brian. They have another brother too, who's kind of crazy. I forgot his name though, but at least it was Brian Braddock. So Captain Britain. So yeah, Psylocke, she was cool. She ended up getting kidnapped because Apocalypse needed all the all the psychics to kind of break time, I guess. So there's Psylocke. Oh man, I love her. And then Robert Drake, one of the original team members, Iceman, aka Bobsicle. Here he is on his ice slide there. Iceman's cool. I go into a comic tangent shortly because he is one of those characters who can vary greatly depending on the artist, especially with coloring. Because a lot of times you can see him when he's more white or different shades of blue. And here you can kind of see going a little bit both ways, but with kind of edging with for the coloring aspect of it. So kind of, or lighting, I mean. So you get the white, a little more white as kind of with the light hitting, and then as you kind of get darker away from the light, it does go into like a darker blue kind of thing. So that's a cool touch. Fantastic ice slide there. He popped up with, I forgot the name of the episode, but it was with X Factor, and you have Forge, and he was looking for Polaris. So Havoc, Forge, Polaris, Strong Guy, Wolf's Bane, and Multiple Man. That was a fun episode too, watching them fight. So yeah, he was, and Jubilee and them going to help him because she kind of sympathized with his struggle, but it was really just Polaris trying to get away from him because he wasn't down for the same fight that she was. So yeah, Iceman. And then Mr. Canada himself, Wolverine, got the yellow background there, claws out. And Wolverine's Wolverine. Obviously a ton of stuff. They went to some of his backstory as well, some Weapon X stuff, with Professor X trying to help him a little bit with that. And he ended up getting dragged back to the Weapon X facility with Sabretooth, Silver Fox, and Beast ended up tagging along. And Maverick was there too. So that was fun. I mean, it was just Wolverine. What can you expect? He had a lot of fun during Night in the Signals too. And it was always kind of independent, but realizing what the team meant to him in Jubilee, especially in what was the name of that? Final Decision, which was them going after Master Mode. So a lot of Sentinels there, and him trying to stop Jubilee because it was gonna be one of those missions, almost a suicide mission. So it was Wolverine, and then here is Archangel, similar to Iceman, another character in the comics who's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Design can vary, particularly with the wings, obviously, because the wings can, from his feather wings to his metal wings, you can just kind of have different interpretations of those. So that's always cool. Wings are one of my favorite design elements because they just can vary so much. Archangel, Pixie, and you got Hawkman, Hawkgirl, and just a lot of stuff like that. But in the series, obviously, the Cure, and then becoming Archangel's, oh my gosh, Apocalypse's death for the Horseman of Apocalypse. So that was cool. Come the Apocalypse, and then there was another one where he was also in, as I said, with Beyond Good and Evil, and then there was another one where he was trying to get revenge on Apocalypse. I forgot who was. Him and Rogue end up kind of pairing up for a bit. I forgot the name of the episode, but that was cool too. So Archangel, Warren Worthington III, and then Bishop. I mentioned him already. He was in not Come the Apocalypse, but Beyond Good and Evil, and then obviously with Days of Future Past. His face looks a little younger here than you kind of typically see with him. So, but I like the power effect there as well. Nice coloring, just fantastic. Bishop has cool design as well, like his hair. And he had, what was the Cure? And then there was another two episode arc with Cable and Bishop were heavily featured. That was fun. So any appearance from Bishop is always cool too. Special guest. And getting to the end here, you got Storm, Aurora Monroe. Fantastic. Just love this costume as well. Just such a classic costume that you grew up on, the white. One of my probably top, I don't know, it might be one of my, I don't know if it's my favorite because I like one of her black costumes more in the comics anyway. But obviously for the animated series, definitely a classic, iconic look there. And Storm they went to her backstory a little bit with the Shadow King. He had an episode there, and a lot throughout the series dealing with her claustrophobia. And then she also had the one where the dude from that other, I don't know where it was, I don't know if it was universe or what other, like planet or something. I forgot the dude's name, but she's gonna stay there to help out the people, but like some machine that they had was dealing with the weather, all this crazy Storm stuff. So yeah, Storm. And then my man Scott Summers, aka Cyclops. Holy hell, this video is going way longer than I thought, but it gives me a chance to show off each of these fantastic pieces of art by Peter Nguyen. So here he is, Cyclops, got his got that brown jacket on. And one thing I always noticed in the cartoon, whenever he had his brown jacket, his gloves always disappeared, and it always bothered the hell out of me. So I'm glad Peter kept, when he put the jacket on, he made a conscious decision to keep his gloves too. That's the perfect way, because it always bothered me every time he had his jacket on, his gloves. He never had his gloves on. It was so weird, but there he is, Scott Summers, aka Cyclops. And yes, Cyclops was right. So Cyclops he was so misunderstood in comics. He got so much hate in recent years, but Cyclops is that dude. Seriously, the leader, co-leader of the X-Men, but at least in the series, the anime series, was the leader, the solo leader. And he had a lot of pivotal moments as well. He kind of went back to the foster home, I believe he was from. And when he kind of just went off on his own there was one episode, what was it? I think it was different from that same episode. I'm not sure, can't remember. It could have been the same episode, but anyways, I think a pivotal moment for him in the series was during Night of the Sentinels. As I mentioned with Beast, when Beast was kind of left behind, the X-Men were overwhelmed and unprepared to face the Sentinels, and he had to make that tough decision to leave Beast behind. And it sucks because as the leader, you never want to leave anyone behind. I think that's always something I always think about too, and especially in fiction. And then when I'm playing multiplayer games, you just never want to leave a teammate get overwhelmed and swarm. So I try to just fight for them. But you have to make that tough decision where you're the leader, and you have to think about what's best, the welfare of the rest of the team, or sacrifice for the one person. And it sucks to have to do that, but that's just a tough decision you have to make, and you have to stand by. And he did. As he said, he won't apologize. He didn't want to apologize for a command decision. So yeah, Cyclops there. So I just really wanted to show off all of these and just kind of talk about some cool moments from the animated series from some of these characters. And then I'll show off some of the kind of composite shots of all of them, so I don't want to flip back through all of them. But yeah, they just look so cool, like the backgrounds. And I think they're supposed to create a rainbow effect too. I'm not sure. I haven't actually tried that yet, but I don't even know. But let me know in the comments below which one's your favorite, and what are some of your favorite moments from X-Men animated series. They got some cool. These are so cool. I wish I would have got the X-Villain set when he still had it. I don't know. I'm in his Avengers set too. I wanted all of them, honestly. I should have just did them long time ago and just bought all those sets because those look so cool. Oh no, I don't want to mess that up. Yeah, and I just have to figure out a way to frame all of these because they just look so fantastic. They're gonna look great on my wall. So yeah, let me know if you've ever heard of Peter Nguyen, if you ever picked up any of his mini print sets, which ones do you have? As I said, I'll put those links in the description so you can go check out his work if you've never heard of him before. Definitely recommend go checking him out. And then as I said, just drop some of your favorite, which one of these is your favorite? If you do have a favorite, who's your favorite character from the animated series? What are some of your favorite episodes and just moments? I had tons of them because I said it's my favorite animated, my favorite cartoon. So there's tons of moments that I love, that stick with me, that I love watching. If ever I need just something like a short clip or something to watch. So yeah, that is that. And yep, that's that. So just cool art here. Also, let me know if you picked up any art recently. So that's always nice to have, especially as a collector. And if you like to decorate, maybe if you have a nerd cave, comic room, whatever, just kind of decorating it with some other art. So yep, let me know in the comments below what you think. And yep, thanks for watching. Peace out.